Hi, welcome back to another 90 Day Fiancé recap. Let's talk about The Single Life Season 4, Episode 7. It's called John Tells the Truth. Wow, these episode titles are just riveting. Everybody's so creative. Who should we start with? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Tyray. Tyray is getting dressed for his very first date ever with the woman that he met the other day with his brothers. And his brothers try to give him some advice. They're like, "Are you going to kiss her?" And he goes, "Well, if the moment is right and we're hugging and looking into each other's eyes and our faces drift together." And if you look at the brothers' faces, they're trying so hard not to laugh.
I guess we were both like looking in each other's eyes and drifted into each other's lips, I guess. Maybe like if she hugs me again, I can kind of like, and then something like that, you know.
So I don't really know who planned this date, if it was Tyray himself or if it was the producers, but I feel like from one fat person to another fat person, I, as a fat person, would never, ever plan this date because he planned an outdoors walking voodoo tour where everybody's supposed to walk outside with a tour guide in the scorching hot weather as they're told creepy stories about this town. I would never be caught doing that, not in the summer. If it were in the winter and below 50-degree weather, then yeah, I would. But anything over 50, no thank you. I would rather die. So anyway, he waits for Teresa, I guess, at the meeting destination, and she gives him a hug. And I don't know if it was just me, but I swear she noticed his sweat. Like when she went in to hug him, she probably felt something like a little wet. And when she backed away, she quickly, so discreetly, looked down to see the situation, to see what was going on, to see what was so wet.
You look nice.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
I just got done with a swamp tour. So.
Oh, you did? I bet that was fun.
Oh, that's so funny.
I mean, look, he's sweating so freaking much. His shirt is drenched. Baby blue was not the right color to choose on your hot summer date, Tyray. Okay, and I felt so bad for him because he is me and I am him. I know exactly how he feels. The one thing I hate about being large and in charge is how easily hot I am all the time and how much I sweat because of it. Like I sweat all the time and I'm sticky and uncomfortable and I freaking hate it. It's actually one of the main reasons I'm trying to lose weight right now. I started my weight loss journey back in January, hashtag new year, new me. And one of the most important things aside from regular exercise is having my meals ready to go. And you guys already know I freaking hate cooking. I don't have time for it. So Factor meals have been my absolute go-to and a lifesaver. Factor makes meeting your nutrition goals super easy by delivering fresh, never frozen, dietitian approved meals right to your door. And they have a team of gourmet chefs who create every single meal that'll help you feel your absolute best. Now, I personally love the Calorie Smart meals because they're all around or below 550 calories, but I also do get their vegan and veggie meals too because I am trying to eat a little less meat these days. And the other day I had their vegan mushroom marsala with onion risotto and roasted garlic green beans for lunch. And oh my God, it was so freaking good and so filling. They also offer breakfast and lunch options as well as these wellness shots that I've been obsessed with starting my mornings with because I just feel like a better person when I take them. And their menu is constantly changing. So head over to factor75.com or click the link below and use code MYTHOUGHT50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. Again, it's factor75.com or click the link below and use code MYTHOUGHT50 to get 50% off your first entire box. And thank you, Factor, for sponsoring this video. And I also want to thank you guys because when you support my sponsors, you're also supporting this channel. So thank you so much. Now back to Tyray and his wet shirt. I feel like during the tour, their chemistry was lacking a bit. I did feel some awkwardness.
You're not a butcher, are you?
No, promise not to stab you with a sugar cane.
But after the tour, they go to a restaurant, they get some food, they try to get to know each other some more. And we find out that Teresa just went through a divorce. And so right now she's traveling around and she's trying to find herself. And then he asks her, "How do you feel about long distance relationships?" And she's like, no. And so obviously she friend zones him because she's like, I would love to keep in touch and we should meet up if we're ever in each other's cities. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, totally."
Thank you so much for inviting me out. But I do have to get back to the girls' trip, but we're going to stay in touch.
Moving on to John. So Megan's finally in Vegas to meet John's family, and she's only there for a day because she can't be away from her daughter for too long, which is totally understandable, but my gosh, that must be tiring. She gets to his brother's apartment and he shows her his bedroom, and it's a mess. But you know what? It wasn't as bad as Sam's room, so I guess that's good. They cuddle for a bit, and then they go to meet Patrick and Thais at a restaurant. Now, I thought it was very funny that Patrick and Thais had some strong opinions about John and Megan's relationship. Like, they don't think it's gonna work out because she has a child and they're long distance, which is hilarious because, hello, Thais, you were in a whole different country.
It doesn't seem like this relationship makes any sense.
She has a child, and they live in different states, so...
I did notice how when John and Megan walked into the restaurant, Patrick and Thais didn't get up from their seats to greet them. Now, I get why Thais didn't because she was holding her infant, but Patrick just looked up at them from his seat. And he was like, hey, nice to meet you. I don't know, I just find that rude. Like, I feel like, have manners, get up, greet them, you're meeting someone for the first time. But that's just me. Patrick asks Megan if she thinks John's gonna be a good stepdad to her daughter, and John's like, yeah, it's scary. You know, it's gonna be hard, but I think I can do it. And Patrick and Thais burst out into laughter.
No, we grew up with a stepdad. Like,
Yeah.
it's a big ass role.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of scary. I ain't gonna lie, but I can do it. Like that. I don't know what's so funny.
Damn, they're really letting Megan know that John is a big fat man child. Like, they're not holding back. Thais straight up tells her,
I mean, John's not really the responsible type.
John is like a child. You have two child for sure.
and then Patrick says, yeah, you never wanted to be a dad. And John says, wait, no, I said I never wanted a baby. Which is fair. I guess that is a little different, a baby and a 4-year-old. I was pretty shocked that they were just going in on him. I mean, that's cool. They're letting Megan know the good, well, the bad and the bad and the bad.
Do you want to have more kids?
Like, I've always said, like, I wanted to have, like, 2, like, 1 girl and 1 boy.
Well, John definitely doesn't want one.
And I swear, if Megan doesn't run away after this date, then she's just... I mean, I don't want to be mean, but she's a little not smart. Let's move on to Miss Debbie and Reuben the Cuban. By the way, she has to stop saying that. Like, I am so sick of hearing Reuben the Cuban. Anyway, so her son, Julian, asks Miss Debbie how the date was, and she updates him about her date with Reuben. We went dancing, and I felt like a teenager again, Julian.
I like the big, panoramic assault of the senses.
What the fuck? Julian's like, I need to meet him, Mom. I need to know what he's all about. And she goes, oh, hell no, Julian. You keep your ass in the bushes.
I like international flavor in the dating scene.
Oh, Lord, Mom.
It's tasty.
Okay. She's really got to stop with this whole shtick of how she likes her men exotic, Reuben the Cuban, and international flavor. Stop. It sounds weird and a little fetishizing. Debbie tells Julian that they can meet after her date with him tonight. So he picks her up, Reuben picks her up in this really bright blue sports car, and Julian sees this from his window and he's like, oh my God, he looks like Ronald McDonald. I'm sorry, have you seen your mother? Although she is dressed pretty low-key on this date, I will say. But normally, she looks like Ronald McDonald's wife. So they go cruising and she's having so much fun and they're laughing, and honestly, they do look really cute together. He takes her to a cafe and they sip on their little coffees and eat their croissants, and she tells him, guess what? My son is here in Miami with me. He wants to meet you cause he's super overprotective. Okay, I'm not gonna do her voice anymore. So she basically says, guess what, bro? My son is here, he's a cop, he's here, and he wants to meet you. And Reuben's like, he's here? Is he gonna interrogate me? I mean, this is only our second date and I just met you yesterday and I have to meet your son? And I really felt bad for him because he's aware they're filming a show, and I wonder if he thought for a split second if this is going to be like a humiliating scene for him, if he's going to be set up for TV. And that's what I would think if I were on a date with a guy who was filming for the show. I'd be like, oh God, your mom's here or your sister's here, like what the freak is going to go on? I felt bad.
I mean, if it's important to you, I'll meet with him and I'll meet, together, and it's awkward, but we'll deal with it. That's all we could do, right?
Right.
I swear, if Julian comes in all hot and like all interrogatey, it's just not necessary. I mean, Reuben seems like a perfectly nice gentleman so far. Okay, anyway, let's move on to Natalie. Natalie takes her mom to this outdoor Halloween festival, and her mom is really enjoying it. She's enjoying all the orange lights and the people in the scary costumes and the smoke machines going off. Ooh. And Halloween isn't really a thing in Ukraine, so she's experiencing it for the very first time. They sit down for a bit, and her mom suddenly tells Natalie, we have to come here with the kids someday. And I'm like, what kids? And then I realize, oh, she means Natalie's future kids who aren't born yet. And she goes, you need to have kids soon. I wish you'd have them sooner. What? I felt so bad for Natalie in this moment. She looked really sad. It's one thing if she doesn't want kids and you tell her and it's just like they can brush it off, but she actually wants them. And for her mom to be like, come on, hurry up, have kids. It's so mean. She can't just plop them out just because she wants them. Like, there's so many things that have to happen and be in line for her to have a kid. I just felt really bad for Natalie. She looked really sad. She looked really stressed. And I just felt her pain in that moment is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, her mom's like, maybe you and Josh can have kids.
Да, с вашей семьей, да. И с Джошиком, да. Вот, скорее.
Well, here's the problem. They've been in a quote relationship for a year and she still hasn't met his kids yet. So she tells her mom all of this and also that it's bothering her that he's never invited her over to his place. And he never mentions anything about Natalie meeting his kids at any time. And her mom tries to give her a reality check. Clearly, Josh doesn't want to get married, not with Natalie. He doesn't want to have any more kids, not with Natalie. And he's keeping her at a distance. He's not letting her into his life, like at all. And if she were in Ukraine, things would have sped up so much faster. Like she would have found a guy, they would have moved in together, lived together, got married, and had kids by now. Okay, then in her ITM or her confessional, she talks about her 2 marriages before Michael. Did anybody know she was married twice before Michael? Did anybody know that Michael was her 3rd husband? Because I didn't know. I did not know until this episode. So apparently the first guy was her mother's dream and also Natalie's dream guy. But she can admit now that she was way too young. She was only 22, and at the time she was bored. She wanted something more. She describes him as the right person, but just at the wrong time. Then she got married to her 2nd husband, who her mother hated because he was demanding, he was controlling, he was a military guy. Then the 3rd one was Michael, who she likes very much. And now she's quote dating Josh, and her mom does not like him because they've been quote dating for a year and he still hasn't proposed yet. But what her mom doesn't know is that they're literally just friends with benefits, and everybody knows this except for Natalie. She's feeling a lot of pressure from her mom right now to get married and give her grandchildren. Like her mom wants a grandchild right now. And it makes her really sad that she can't give her mom what she really wants. And I can relate to that too. My parents want grandchildren so freaking bad, and I break their hearts every single time I say no. And also, what makes things worse is my sister does not want to have kids either. She plans not to have kids. Her and her boyfriend have decided that. And then my youngest sister, I mean, she's their only hope, but as she just turned 24, she's doing her last year of law school and she's nowhere near thinking about having kids. So, yeah, my poor parents. But you know what? We gotta live our lives for us, not for our parents. I mean, I do whatever I can for my parents, and the grandbaby is just something that they're gonna have to get over. However, they really, really do love my dogs. So later in the episode, Natalie finds out that she's not even going to see Josh for Christmas because he's going to be in Arizona with his family, his kids. And she invited herself. She offered to fly to Arizona to see him for Christmas and meet his kids. And he said no. Girl, that's your ultimate sign that he does not give a fuck about you. And she's like, I don't understand why he won't let me meet his kids. Girl, get a clue. It is very obvious why. And she even admits that she knows what that means. Like in her head, she knows, but in her heart, she can't accept it.
Making a huge mistake moving to LA for Josh because he doesn't have time for me. And it's hard because like, it's hard because my head knows already and my head is clean, but here I still feel.
Josh is at a restaurant waiting for Natalie to show up, and while he's waiting, he decides to taste test the tortilla chips. Yeah, I saw him put that tortilla chip back. And she finally arrives, and uh-oh, she looks pretty mad. I thought it was so funny how he just knew. He was like, uh-oh, here we go again.
Oh boy.
And finally, we gotta talk about Tim and Louisa because, y'all, the scream I scrumped, the cringe I crunged, the gasp I gusped. All right? Whew. Okay, so they're, wait, is this after they had their double dinner date? I guess the dinner date was over. Veronica and Jamal left, I think. Tim and Louisa are outside. Okay, she's in this gorgeous green dress. Tim's in his favorite knee-high leather boots. They are standing by the water. It's kind of romantic outside. It's dark. And she is giving him the lovey-dovey eyes. She is looking straight into his blue eyes, giving him that signal to kiss her. And he's just like, so what do you want to talk about? I don't want to talk about anything. You're getting real close to me, Louisa. Are you trying to force me to kiss you right now?
Okay, what does that mean? You're getting very close to me.
I know.
Why? Are you forcing me to give you a kiss right now?
What the freak? Who the freak says, are you trying to force me to kiss you? Tim, what the freak? I am trying so hard not to curse right now. That was so painful to watch. Holy cannoli. Oh my God. She's like, can I kiss you? And he goes, oh yeah, just a little kiss. And she's like, what's a little kiss? And he goes, just a peck right here, because, you know, I haven't brushed my teeth. My breath smells like steak.
I guess I want to brush my teeth and stuff. Like, come on.
What is going on? Oh my God. Oh my God. I wanted to crawl out of my skin. I was so confused. What the hell is going on? In his confessional, he admitted that he was so nervous and anxious because he had just eaten dinner and he was so self-conscious about his breath. So I guess this is all due to self-consciousness? I don't know. So she basically inches up closer to him and he's like, all right. So they grab each other's faces and I'm just like, oh, after that face grab, I was like, this is not gonna be good. This is not gonna be good. And they go in for the kiss.
Okay. Okay. Let's see.
Oh my God. And he goes, ow, you hit my teeth.
You hit my teeth.
Louisa goes, yay, you did it. I want another one. And he goes, okay, let's try this again. And he did. And he was a little better this time. Yeah. And then they kiss a third time and he was Yo, oh. It was better than the first time. Let's just keep it at that, okay? He did keep his eyes open a little bit, and I was like,
shut your damn eyes, close them.
Yeah, well, she was really happy, and he seemed really happy. And I'm pretty sure since they broke the kissing ice, they're gonna be kissing a lot more. Yeah, I think he's gonna be a lot more comfortable to just kiss her. Now, I don't know if he is just super self-conscious or if he's asexual, because honey, you need to explore that, because if you're asexual, because this isn't a new thing. His ex, Jennifer, had always said that he was lacking in the bedroom. He didn't want to kiss her. He just wasn't into sex. He wasn't physically intimate or affectionate. And if he is asexual, there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to admit it to yourself and tell your date so they know what to expect. Well, that's it for today's recap. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye!